Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day today. So today we are making some Venetian style houses. So I kind of wanted to do a build that involved the Venice canals and sort of trying to recreate that whole feeling and vibe of sort of having the waterside houses and trying to recreate that in The Sims. So we started off by laying out where I wanted the canals to go, and now we're working on a bridge to kind of connect the two areas together, because obviously your Sims technically shouldn't be able to walk around the outside because it's supposed to be all covered in canals, but obviously we can't really do anything like that in The Sims at the moment. So obviously they can walk around, but obviously I would like them to use the bridge and kind of trying to make it a sort of a step bridge by using all the different half walls and adding in some windows for some interest and making it a sort of brick which kind of changes through the build. When I actually realised that we had some really nice old stone textures from Get Together, so the bridge develops over the course of the video, and I'm just going around putting in some half walls for where I want the edges of the canal to be, because in Venice they have sort of edges. And obviously, because it's Venice, you've got to add in all the poles for all where the gondolas and the boats are tied up. So these city living poles that are used for the lighting worked really well, scaled up and put at the bottom of the swimming pool. And then I scaled up the big ship, because obviously Venice was a merchant city back in the day and still is big deal in the trade, the silk trade and the Silk Road. So lots of wealth, lots of sort of fancy stuff that I kind of tried to use in one of the houses that I furnished as well. So now we're going to get on to the first set of houses. So this is a set of 4 different houses. They're all different inside and all have sort of a different colour and look on the outside as well, just to make them look a bit different from each other. And I really wanted to have the pool come into the inside of the house, because I know a lot of Venetian houses have the sort of the water goes into the house so they can sail their boat or their gondola into their actual house, so it keeps it safe. So I kind of drag the pool into the house and use moved objects to put the cats and dogs archways for the little entrance ways, and obviously all the base game sort of more Mediterranean looking balconies and the little roof awnings there came into great effect because I literally covered all the houses in some form of awning or balcony, because obviously you've got to sit out and enjoy the Venetian sun while you're staying, or if you live there. Obviously these 4 houses could be great hotels if you wanted to take your sim on a little vacation using this lot. This is the 64 by 64 lot on the island in Windenburg as well, because I had to use the biggest lot I could possibly find, because obviously it takes up a lot of space, and each floor has a different height. So the first 2 floors are the highest height, and then the top floor is the smallest one, to kind of represent the fact that in the houses they'd have different sort of levels. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Kind of the poorer people be on the top because they've got the smallest sort of rooms, and then the more living areas, and richer people kind of lived in the sort of the middle parts of the build. And yeah, we're just putting all the different sort of stonework. I do change that stonework from that house because it was really dark compared to the other ones, because the other ones that I did were quite light, and sort of I found the stucco version of the colour and use that instead. And I enjoyed putting the roofs on this because I wanted to have a different roof for the different buildings, so it kind of makes a really interesting sort of roof pattern. And then I tried to add a bit more detail by adding in the different chimneys, sort of more old rusticy looking ones, and then some more modern ones to see if they sort of renovated the houses up a bit. So while I get to doing all the outsides, I went on a little adventure on Monday. My sister had an interview in Norwich, so I got to go and escort her there and had a fun time looking around the city. I've never been before, so it was quite interesting, and we are going back for our summer holiday around there as well, so it was quite nice to go and have a look at what it was like before. And it's I'd say quite a interesting city because it has quite a lot of different style buildings, so there was quite a lot of redevelopment going on as well, so it was kind of a mishmash between sort of quite old buildings that had Art Nouveau windows, and then you've got ones that are more like Art Deco-y style, which I don't like. I feel it's my personal hate is Art Deco style. That's why I can never buy the vintage glamour pack, because it's just full of Art Deco styled furniture, and I don't know why that style just really grates on me. But I really like, in contrast to the 30s, I like the Bauhaus style, so I kind of feel like how the both styles could appear at the same time is really confusing, because one group did it right in my opinion, and one group got it very, very wrong in my opinion. But that's enough about my opinions on the 30s style. So I had good fun wandering around. It was quite a long day, and we drove there and we drove back, and on the way back it was night time when we went because we had to go to the M11. If this makes no sense if you don't live in the UK, but there's a big ring road around London that I had to use to get back home. So when we were driving through that, I didn't realise that you could actually see the London skyline, sort of, because you were high enough at that point when you've just come off the motorway and gone on to the London orbital, as it is now. And then you can actually see like the Canary Wharf and the Shard, and that was pretty cool. And because it's the supermoon as well, these last few days, I think it was yesterday, Wednesday, was the actual supermoon, but the moon was like so bright all the way home as well, so that was nice. And it was clear as well, so you could actually do somewhat of a little stargaze on the way home, because the light pollution wasn't too bad. So yeah, I've had a fun little excursion, but it's all back to work, and no fun little trips until next Tuesday when my sister has another interview, so another fun day out. And so we're getting into just finishing off this part by adding the chimneys and stuff. So we're going to now work on the house that I've actually furnished, and you can skip ahead if you don't want to watch that. I should probably put in a time code for you to skip if you don't want to watch me furnish an entire 4-floored house. And this house was kind of designed to be a merchant's house, so they've obviously got a lot of money. They've done a lot of trade, so they've got kind of more exotic-y items and sort of more opulent items than that might appear in other houses that are just across from them. So I kind of furnished it like that and added in a lot more balconies in these column areas. So I kind of cut out where I wanted the balconies to be, and then use the windows that we have that are archways, but they've got the fence over like I'm just putting in now, so they kind of get the natural light and some air flowing through the building. And it was super fun to decorate as well, because I don't normally do sort of really fancy, posh sort of looking builds, so it was quite fun. I've been to enough stately homes in my time to know what a posh interior looks like, so hopefully it does its job well. And I'm still putting in columns. This build must be full. This must like hit a column limit or something like that. It'd be quite funny if they blocked how many columns we could use in the game. Just like, no, you've used too many, you're not allowed any more columns. And then using those smaller ones as well. And I used a lot of drapey curtains inside that we'll get to see in a minute if I actually finish putting windows and more columns. Yes, more. You cannot have enough columns. Just looking back on this, it's a bit obsessive how many columns this actual house has, but it does add some character and detail to it, because that is the one thing that I think that lacks in The Sims 4, is adding those details onto the outside of the house to make it seem less flat. Because I know sometimes like when I'm building something, I just like feel like it's always quite a flat surface, the outside, unless you do go in and put those little nooks and sort of cutouts or pillars or something that makes it a bit more interesting than just a flat wall. And then on the front here, I made some balconies that your Sims can actually go out and sort of sit on. I think I put some tea lights out there as well, so it's all a bit romantic if you desire that. I don't know, it's nearly Valentine's Day, so I am preparing myself for the worst. I don't know why, but who knows what could happen. I don't know why I mentioned that. Anyway, hopefully we're on to the interior. Just adding in some more wall details, obviously. And now we're going into the inside. So the bottom area, we've got a little area where they've got some storage boxes and sort of an entrance way from if you took your boat out and went traveling in the city. And then you've got an entrance from the pavement as well. And then the stairs kind of follow each other in like a zigzag position all the way up to the top. And I whipped out the marble flooring, because I was like, there's no good opportunity than building a expensive merchant's house than now to use some wonderful marble flooring. And I used all the fancy wallpapers as well, so it does look a bit yellow throughout the whole build, but it's kind of meant to represent gold, and sort of using the chairs that have the gold wooden backing on them as well quite a lot in this. And I never get to use the gold rug that I put down in here as well, because I think it looks very a modern sort of fancy, and then scaling up the most expensive pictures we have in the game as well, because obviously they actually did fit, because they have images of sort of, one of them looks like the Sancta Maria in Florence, which I've been to, which is a lovely place, and the other one looks like a generic sort of place, but they do actually fit the theme for once, which is nice. And when you want to use some older looking paintings, it's quite nice when they do actually fit. So this is the kitchen. It's kind of a sort of more plain, basic room in the build, sort of just trying to get in all the essentials that your sim would need. I can imagine the owners of this house would probably have a butler or a maid. So if you do have the Vintage Glamour stuff pack, then definitely get your butler or maid to cook you some stuff in this fine kitchen. And I tried to add in all the sort of plate, what are they called, the cabinets with the plates in. I can't remember the actual term for them, but I tried to add in all those because I imagine they'd gone and collected a lot of cutlery and china from about their travels. So it's kind of everything I tried to do was trying to resemble them having their objects for show. And someone's just ringing me, so we'll ignore them because it doesn't look like any number I know. And now we're going to work on the second floor. So this was kind of a more entertaining area. So I put in a grand piano and a bar and a chess table and a card table in this main sort of entertaining space. So I thought there'd be the people that would put on a lavish party and invite all their friends and family and sort of dignitaries from around the town to come and wine and dine at their wonderful house, or that they are the dignitaries of the town and that's why they have this house basically. So this is a little study area. We've got 2 desks with 2 computers on, and then lots of beige looking bookshelves and some seats for them. I tried to put the desks near the windows as well, so you had a nice inspiring view of the Venetian countryside or the lakes, well, not lakes, the canal or the sea, and then you can sort of be inspired while you write your novel or whatever you're doing on the computer. And then we're just furnishing the sort of entertaining area, so lots of whites, lots of fluffy rugs, lots of the similar colour chairs, lots of pots, lots of suits of armour as well, which is always good fun to use. I do love using the suits of armour if and when I can, because you never get to use those sorts of objects normally when you're building. And then the bathrooms are probably so extra. I used the gold and black bathtub and the gold and black toilet from the cats and dogs stuff because I felt like we needed some gold, and I thought, what better than have a gold bath and a gold toilet to sit on? Because if you've got the dollar, you might as well spend it. So all the bathrooms are very, very extra. They're very gold. They're very black, and they contrast well with that goldy sort of shiny wallpaper. And you've got lots of fluffy rugs to put your delicate feet on when you come out of the bath, and lots of flowers, so it obviously smells lovely in the bathrooms. And now we're working on the spare bedroom and the master bedroom. So this is on the 3rd floor now. This house is a beast. It took so long to furnish and build all of this stuff. I think this is the longest build that I've done so far, I think. But yeah, so we've gone for a blue colour scheme on one side, which is the master bedroom, and then sort of a pink colour scheme on the other side, which is more a guest, or if you do have your butler, then they could stay in that area, or you could convert the oversized bathroom that I made upstairs for where the children are kept in the roof, because obviously they're not allowed down because they're obviously annoyances. Should be kept in the roof. That's a joke. Obviously they're probably wonderful and not spoiled. And yeah, and again we're using a lot of the creams and a lot of the similar furniture, and just trying to make it a lot quite detailed, but also give plenty of space, and putting a little ottoman at the bottom of the bed. And I scaled up the curtain as well, so it kind of looked like they'd drawn back the curtain into the ensuite bathroom, which yet again has the golden bath and the golden toilet. And I sort of make a dressing area as well on that little corner bit where I put use moved objects to put two mirrors together, so it's kind of got a little dressing space. So if you've just come out, well, if you need to get dressed, you sort of got a dedicated area to do so. And I put some of the clothes hanging sort of wall decorations up there, so then they've got a bit of storage, which is a bit more informal than the actual bedroom itself. So now this is the pink area. It's basically styled in a very similar way again. So I also did what I thought was going to be a very painful experience, which was our work Christmas dinner, except our work Christmas dinner was a month after Christmas, and in Pizza Express, of all places, the most Christmassy place. There's nothing like a good Christmas pizza to celebrate your Christmas. And because it's work colleagues as well, you're just kind of like, you get on at work because you can talk about stuff that's like, oh, this customer, she just called a diary a calendar book, what the hell is she on? And sort of stuff like that. But obviously it's different because you're not in work and you're more relaxed. So it was pleasantly, surprisingly okay experience. Hopefully I'm not there much longer, so I don't have to endure another one of these Christmas dinners. And we got to go in the little function room that's a conservatory out the back. They probably didn't want us to annoy everyone else that was in there, so that was nice. And we didn't leave till 11 o'clock at night, which was a bit ridiculous. They were all sitting around with their coats on waiting for us to leave, and I was just like, they took forever to serve us as well, so I don't know why they were moaning. And I overheard one of them saying, oh, they're going to pay us extra for this anyway, so it's not like they minded too much that we were there till 11 o'clock. So that was somewhat of an interesting Thursday. Yeah, I think it was Thursday. So that was a fun experience. If you can call it. Oh, no more phones. Who wants to get in contact with me this afternoon? It's ridiculous. I always keep getting really random mobiles and like no caller IDs ring me like every so often. I'm just like, I'm not going to answer the phone if you don't show me your phone number. And now we're going to work on the kids' area. So they have the entire 4th floor of the build, and this part is the play area part. So I've literally gone through and put every single kid's stuff that I own into this room and sort of scaled things up. Obviously I didn't put the ball pit in because obviously that is massive and hideous, but I do think I click on it to try and put in the toddler's room. And I was just like, nah, it doesn't fit. But it's very, very child friendly. I don't know how they would cope with the open banisters, so that's not very child friendly, especially as there's an open banister with a seat under it like you see there for the toddler's room. So hopefully the parents realise that their toddler should not be climbing out the window and falling to their death into the canal. But hopefully they put some child protection on that. But yeah, and there's the ball pit. I was just like, yeah, can I fit this in? And oh no, I can't. At the moment it looks really plain and white and blue, but I do add in the gradient, the blue gradient wallpaper, so that kind of makes it a bit more interesting than it is at the moment, because I wanted to keep it like clean and calming, because obviously they've got the exciting playroom outside their door, so it kind of makes up for the dullness of their bedroom. And then this one's a shared bedroom between two two kids or two teens. I think it's more kids because of the stuff that I put in, but obviously we've got that bright blue side, and then we've got the mint green side, so it could be a split between a boy and a girl, but it could be any type of sim really. So we've got sort of matching beds but different bed covers on them to reflect their personalities. So one side's a bit more colourful, the other side's a bit more muted, sort of wanting to be a bit more grown up or something like that. And obviously lots of clutter items, lots of sort of kids stuff and sort of fun wall decorations. I think I used the basketball wall decal and the guitar one as well. I thought that brought in some colour and sort of use that yellow to have the big rug that's from City Living and that bookshelf as well, so kind of got that pop of yellow to contrast with all the blues and the greens that are in the room. And then we are going to go back and change the colour of the outside, like I mentioned before, because I thought it was a bit too dark, so it kind of blends in a bit more. And we're going to add some little details outside. So obviously you've got to sit outside and have your morning coffee or afternoon coffee when you're in Venice. I just forgot where we were then. I was going to say Rome, because obviously Rome's like associated with coffee, and putting in a load of these sort of cypress trees to really add to the aesthetic of Venice. I missed out the bit where I put a load of greenery, sort of like almost weed and sort of lily pads into the water, just to make it a bit more realistic, because obviously the canals themselves could probably get quite a lot of debris in them from storms or from sort of plants that fall in. And I know they really stink during the summer as well, so if you want to plan a trip to Venice, don't go in the summer. And it's probably going to sink soon as well, so you should probably plan to go to Venice pretty soon before it all floods and goes into the sea. And there it is in the dark, just trying to figure out the lighting. It looks very atmospheric in the dark, and I just wanted to add some lights under for where the entrances were, so kind of made it look a bit more alive. So these are the screenshots of all the different angles and the boats, and you can see the greenery in there as well, sort of giving it a bit more character. So if you enjoyed, give it a like, and if you'd like to see any more builds, then feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.